Okay, das ist eine Boeing Stearman, Baujahr 1942, in den Farben der US Navy. Das ist ein Originalzustand mit dem Continental W670 Motor, 220 PS. Er ist kunstflugtauglich und wir sind hier auf der Hahnweide, um auch Kunstflugvorführungen zu machen.
Das erste Mal oder? Das erste Mal hier oder?
Oh nee, wir kommen seit vielen, vielen Jahren zur Hahnweide.
Okay. Das ist einfach ein toller Event, oder?
Ja, es ist ein toller Event, viele tolle Flugzeuge da, das Wetter passt, sehr viele Leute. Also ich denke für die Region genau richtig und für die Szene sowieso. Wir brauchen die Hahnweide und wir freuen uns schon auf die nächste Veranstaltung.
Herzlichen Dank.
My name is Erik from the Netherlands. I fly the Cessna O-2 Skymaster, parked here right next to me. And the Cessna O-2 Skymaster is a very interesting plane. It flew in the Vietnam War. And it is actually symbolic for the struggle that the Americans had in Vietnam. Because they went to Vietnam with a lot of high-tech stuff. And they were not able to find, let alone bomb, the guerrillas in the Viet Cong in the woods. So they needed a plane to fly low and slow to find the targets. They introduced the O-1 Burdock, which was a single-engine plane. And they had a lot of casualties with it because it was very easy to hit from the ground with the handguns. And in the same time, Cessna was in the US working on a twin-engine plane because they wanted to upsell their customers a bigger plane which was faster. But the problem of a normal twin-engine plane is if you have two engines on the wings and one fails, that you go into a turn or even a spiral. So to prevent that, Cessna thought about the concept of putting the second engine aft of the fuselage in between two tails, so if one engine fails, you just fly straight. That was a very nice idea until they tested it, and one of the biggest problems was that the noise between the two is deafening. And this was the time that you did not have Bose anti-noise stuff, so it was really... So they tried to sell it to a dentist or a lawyer, and he came out with his ears buzzing and he never wanted to fly it again. So, but the US Air Force was looking for a plane to replace the Burdock, which was safer to fly, and that was why they bought this one. So it has two engines, and when they shoot at one, it still continues to fly straight. And they bought 500 O2s, and this was the very first to become operational. And it became operational in Vietnam very first in 1967. It flew there for almost 4 years. Then it came back to the United States and it flew there for the Air Force for 20 more years. And we bought the plane as our foundation. We have a foundation in the Netherlands. And we bought it in 2013 and we flew it from America to here to show at air shows. And a fun thing is we should walk around it later and look at it. But there is a signature on the nose of the pilot who flew 50 missions over Vietnam in this very plane. We tracked him down via the internet and he lived in Australia. And he flew all the way to the Netherlands last year to fly on his plane once more after 50 years. And he put his signature on the other side, so that we can look at that later. So that's the story behind this plane. And what it actually did in Vietnam was fly low above the forest. And when it saw a target, it had smoke rockets and it would fire those on the target, so it gave a lot of smoke. And then he would call in the bombers over the radio and then he would say, "Hit my smoke." And then they would just have to, it was much easier for them to find the target. So that was what he did. And it was a very dangerous job. I believe of the 500 that went to Vietnam, 150 never came back. So that was a very dangerous job. But this one survived and it is unique in Europe. I believe it's the only original O-2A in Europe, and it could very well be the only Vietnam veteran airplane in Europe as well. There are a lot of planes which are painted in Vietnam colors, but not one flew there, and this one actually flew there. So, but if somebody knows a plane that flew in Vietnam that is in Europe right now, I would love to know about it, but I haven't found it yet. So that's about the story about the O-2 Skymaster.
Thank you very much and a nice day.